Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Baddy Overwatch League Season 8, Week 5, Map 1. Big Brain E-Thoughts versus No Talk We Angie. My name is Dr. Bad Vibes, and I'm here with...
K4, and we're ready
And
to
we're...
show you this match.
Now, who do you think is going to win this one, Mr. K4? Who do you think is
Um,
favored?
I I think No Talk is favored, the current first seed team. Overall, I don't think they have many weaknesses, and although Big Brain Ethos doesn't have a whole lot either, I think they just have a little bit of an edge from what we've seen over the past few weeks. Do you
Now,
have
this...
any contrarian ideas?
I don't really I don't really contrast your ideas, but this is a very strange map to be playing on for at least Baddy League, because we almost never see dive ran during Baddy League, and this is a
Oh
very
no.
dive centric map, so it'd be kind of interesting to see how both teams play this one out.
Yeah, so right now on the side of No Talk We Angie, we have the dive with a Torb and a Hanzo, and then on the side of whoops,
Yeah, but
mixed up names. Yeah, on the side of No Talk We Angie, um, we have the Farah Echo Rhine Diva,
the infamous Far Echo.
the infamous.
No Mercy this week though, so that's gonna be kind of strange.
We do still have the break though, so that helps the Farah Echo a lot.
Both teams just kind of playing poke right now. Nobody committing too hard while just pushing the payload right underneath. Big Brain E-Thoughts. Pretty safe plays going on. Both teams probably trying to land a pick here. We got supports are standing in the back line, relatively safe from the Pharah and the Echo. But they are separated from their team, so they get dove. It's going to be pretty rough. Damage coming out now. Slice Spread's kind of in a dangerous spot, standing inside the entirety of No Talk We Ain't. You're going to get D-Mech for that. Brian falls, the Kriz, getting whiplashed. Now it looks pretty rough for the defense here. First point of Gibraltar. Zephyr trying to make space on blue box.
Looks like that's first point. Turbird is still behind. He got killed.
He's no longer behind.
That was an interesting first fight. It is very fast, and the side of Big Brain Ethos, they played a composition where they couldn't contest the cart as much, so No Talk We Angie just pushed the cart and then slowly won. I think that's all there was to it.
They lost their only hit scan here. Rise's fight begins, trying to take back the spaceship in the center, but man, Hadugwe Angie is just uncontested on the payload. I don't think Ethos has ever once stopped the payload. Zappa gonna do that right now, getting down and boosted. Gonna go up to Blue Zinga, taking her out. Slicebird finds Rakudo, but Surbird gets taken out by McCree. Zappa popping the primal. Dano taking Dreaded out of his clone form right there. Not a very decisive fight. Ethos might be able to, or might still lose this one here.
Yeah.
3 kills by Dreaded. Diva Bomb gonna blow up 2 shields. Not gonna get much value out of that. Earthshatter comes up from Rakudo, stunning Brian. And I don't think, oh, QVP, it will commit a Transcendence this fight. Hopefully they're able to whittle down Ethos. Or Ethos is able to whittle down Angie. The increased barrage in the backline gets eaten by Slice Bread. What a nice response. But that might not be enough. Zappa trying to contest the card here. Slice Bread's D-Max. Zappa falls. QVP's the only one on the payload. Brian can't make it there. And that's second point. Again to No Talk We Angie.
I would like to see Slice Bread and Zappa get off the
Oh.
trying to play a dive-centric comp. There goes Cuban Feet, charged by Rakudo. They're trying to play this composition with the Winston and the D, but they really have to be able to go all in and just roll over the side of No Talk We Ain't. But instead, they're slowly poking and losing, so they switch to double shields now.
Yeah. Slowly poking is the name of the game with double shield. Works a lot better than dive in that situation, but Dano will be taken out by Pharah. Creed taking out 2, actually taking out both Brian and Dano. Cerberus looking dangerously low. Immortality Field comes out from Cerberus. Grab from Mel, picks up Sliced Bread. He's going to prevent Ethos from getting out of spawn. Kuda falls, Zappa is the only one there. Brian might not be able to make it. Bob won't either. And wow, No Talk with ANGEY just kind of pushes that one in.
Yeah, that was a very weak defense from Big Brain Ethos. They took very few fights, and they weren't able to really capitalize on any of the high ground on the first 2 points with their Winston and their Diva comp. They played it more akin to the a double shield composition where they were just slowly poking, and instead of engaging in any aggressive fights like they might have wanted to, they just slowly took a bit too much damage because their tanks didn't have as much shield and resource, and then they got whittled away. So
Yeah.
I would like to see a dive on this first point, but I definitely think they're changing it up here. Instead of playing a dive or a double shield, they're playing the Diva Sigma. So this composition I like a little bit more because they can control more parts of the map, because Diva has the boosters to control high ground and Sliced Bread as a shield, so they can kind of split like they have been playing and just work on taking space versus the full team engage.
It's very important to note that this week, especially this week, both McCree and Widowmaker are banned, so we're not going to see switches to those heroes to counteract the Pharah and the Echo, both flying, both very hard to deal with without those characters. Let's see how.
Luckily, they don't have the Mercy, otherwise there might be a bit of annoyance on them.
Yeah, Mercy's banned too, luckily, to prevent both from being completely broken. Let's
that also means Dano can't one-shot, so.
Trying to get caught out, faulted. Deflects down. Dano and Sliced Bread are both anti-nated right now. Zappa going after McCree and Pharah as he takes on Dano. Brian's still pushing the payload. Once again, not really seeing the defense contest the payload around this first corner. It's a very hard way in place to contest it. So the fight's pretty much going to be happening on this corner, the first point. Zappa looking for Dreaded. Gonna find him, but Kriz kills Sliced Bread and Brian dies in the payload with him. This is regroup for Ethos as they fall back here.
Yeah, that was neither team looking very decisive. The Ethos didn't drop immediately when No Talk with ANGEY got split, and No Talk with ANGEY got split when they were trying to push the payload under, so just a little bit more coordination with these teams would help either one greatly. That's probably what's gonna change the game in the later maps, is whatever team's able to get their coordination together.
Dreaded going on a massive flank. He will get out though somehow, and he kills Dano on his way out too. I thought Dreaded was done for. He manages to slip out. Sliced Bread and Cerberus take out 2. Zappa falls on the payload. No Reinhardt there to contest. Now Sigma will fall with him. Cerberus on the high ground trying to fight the Pharah. Won't be able to kill her. And that's another reset for Big Brain Ethos. Now they do have Nano here. They're not close to Blade at all though. And No Talk with ANGEY has almost all 6 of their alts. The only alt they're pretty much lacking behind it is Sigma alt right now.
Yeah, but the bad thing about playing Genji is with Dreaded DPS's ult, he can steal that blade, and Fuzinga has a nano.
Mel will take out, or Mel will be taken out by Brian, but Dreaded switches over to Reinhardt, gonna get nanoed here as well. Stefanani back up. A Sigma ult comes out as well on the side of Ethos. Earthshatter comes out, trying to kill Dano in his spawn.
Yeah,
that's a lot of ult.
Flank here though, so that'll be more time off the clock.
Oops, Slicebird taking a leap of faith, but he will give McCree more ult charge. Doesn't matter though, because Barrage is already ready. Now that was 4 ults from the side of No Talk with ANGEY.
The time bank is very low too. They only have a minute left or so. Big Brain Ethos is holding this a lot better than they pushed.
We might see a Nano Blade come out right now. Cuban Pete has Nano. Brian does have Blade, but Brian will fall to the other Ana. Cuban Pete fighting on the payload by himself right now. The sleeping Rakudo. No one's going to actually help him push this payload, surprisingly. He might die for it. No, they do converge on Rakuto. Nano Boost does get used. No more Nano Blade anymore.
No, but now we got a Nano's main tank. Zen's there. He's doing all the damage.
Zen is there. Zen is a main tank. There's some hidden information that you might not know. A bunch of ults coming out. I think Big Brain Ethos is going to have 5 at this corner here. Supercharger comes up from Mel. Sigball comes up from Slice Fred. Going to pick up 3. Not going to finish anybody up, but Mel will fall to the follow-up damage. Zappa Earth Shatters. Hits 3. Gets around the Bongo. Blade comes out, killing Dreaded. Rakuto's now the only one on point on the side of the Ethos. Or inside of Notaku ANGEY.
I was actually impressed with the BM Blade from Brian. Very appreciated, especially after almost losing first point. So, you know, whatever you can get.
Going in. Now Zappa's going out. Maybe that's switch. I don't know. He might be switching. That might have been a tactical reset. Ah, yes, it was. Zappa's now on Orisa.
A tactical reset.
Tactical reset. Oop, Cuban's also doing a tactical reset.
Yeah, it looks like the entirety of Notaku ANGEY could be considering a reset here.
Because Notaku ANGEY wins this next fight, Big Brain Ethos is going to need a backup and reset here.
Yeah, I would have liked to see the Big Brain Ethos reset a little sooner than that to conserve their already low time bank. Looks like they're going in now. Their entire team is back.
Nano Sigma coming out. Very interesting play. Brian falls, and then he hits down on the side. Oh, wait, my bad. They also have an Ash inside of Big Brain Ethos. So Sirbird still has that Transcendence. We'll be able to counteract with Pharaoh Barrage if it comes out. I've seen both teams playing for poke. Dano getting dangerously low. Sibbird's going to pick him up the Transcendence. As Dreaded pulls out a Soldier 76. Not going to get picked up by the Sigma, but does pick up Rakuto. Rakuto does get Nano Boost. Zappa's getting dangerously low. Kriz going on a flank angle here. Rakuto just cleaning up. Man, Big Brain Ethos is not looking too good here on Gibraltar.
Yeah, they're really struggling here, and this point is very difficult, especially when you lose your Reinhardt on that first entry, because these choke points are very hard.
Dreaded will be taken out by Dano here, but will that be enough? McCree with a barrage ready, gonna get filled up back to full. For sure, it comes up from Rakuto, finds 3 people, charge kills 2 of them. Barrage won't even be needed here. The last 18 seconds of the point tick down.
Yeah, now they really need to see if someone from Big Brain Ethos can touch.
Now Wrecking Ball is banned. They won't be able to switch to ball to get here and get to point.
Now they have Ziva and they have Lucio and Tracer to touch.
Tracer will touch here. He's going to recall back to high ground. Spread needs to rotate the point if he wants to keep his point alive. Going to get D-Mac. Fair Barrage comes out. Zappa and Dano, the only ones that Zappa will fall. Nobody will be able to touch, and this map goes to Notaku ANGEY.
Yeah, it's a valiant effort, but it has been looking a little one-sided, this map. So maybe it could just be Gibraltar, because you know it's Gibraltar and it's so very different from most of the maps. So
Gibraltar is that weird wild card map. It's very dive-centric, very strange to play on, especially with most of the tanks not being terribly viable there. But yeah. Temple of Anubis is coming up next, and that's a pretty fair, like a fairly stable map, I'd say.
Yeah, it definitely favors spam a lot, but so we'll get to see if these teams can not get caught out too much. There is a heavy spam on that map. I would like to see a Lucio Moira just because of how badly that map can a Junkrat can just control it, but we'll have to see.
Both teams do run quite a lot of double shield here. Both teams ran on Orisa. Both teams ran a Sigma. Angry was running a Orisa Reinhardt, if I'm not mistaken. That's a pretty powerful combo here in Temple of Anubis. Not only with both their shields giving them a bunch of shields to work with, a bunch of barriers to work with, but also Reinhardt's hammer giving cleave damage to anyone who tries to push through like left or right side or anywhere
Oh
really.
yeah,
Reinhardt's
I
able to
definitely
cleave
think
him.
it's powerful with the Bastion. So we could see the teams pull out the Bastion and set up a turret right in front of the choke. And we'll get to see how many people get picked by that before they're able to figure out how to play around a Bastion. But
How
yeah,
likely
this
do you
map,
think we're gonna see a Diva Hog Bastion combo?
the Diva Hog Bastion, it is a classic, but
Hmm.
I don't think we'll see it on first point. I could see it second point, but just because how good Double Shield is on this first defense, it's a little hard. But naturally, if the attackers play it, that's even more powerful. They just got to go right side, get up top where the Ana usually stands, and then set their Bastion up there. And
That is a power play.
yeah, and the Hog just sits in the Mega Room, and no one can push the Bastion because Hog exists. Um, yeah, I don't know what more I can ask than that, but it looks like we're getting double shields on the defense with Junkrat Ash. Then, so that's a pretty heavy spam comp, and it looks like for offense we might get a dive. I would be interested in that.
Oh, Mel on the Sigma. Hmm.
That just yes, dive hard. We have the shield grind pocket. So the classic.
Very interesting composition coming out from.
I definitely think this favors the defense a lot though, because Dano on the Ash there just can shut down Dreaded or McCree if they try and push through the main chokes because it's so narrow.
Let's see what we're running into here. Dreaded on the Echo, Free on the Pharah. Same thing as the last map. Got a bunch of spam damage from both teams. Ooh, and a 4-man anti. Inside of No Taco Yankee. Take out. Or Blue Zinga will fall for it. Interesting rotation going.
So I think that's very dangerous considering the fact that Daily Spam and the Andrew Kudo and Marvel Smell on the left side are without healing, so they get to rely on that single mega.
They get to share it. 250 HP for like every 10 seconds?
Something like that.
That's more healing than I do usually on support.
Oh, I know.
Just looking at the backline right now. Gonna try to kill Cerberus in his spawn. Both teams kind of playing open. Dreaded getting really low. Not gonna get taken out.
Ground being able to control the high ground there is very important.
Over here we're seeing Dive Hard going onto the point. Nice anti. Instead of No Taku Angie. Kudo gonna just go in. Gonna start swinging. You will lose life for it, but you will open up the point.
Yeah. The left shift might not have been necessary, but I get it. I've played Reinhardt. The left shift is always necessary. But that was actually a pretty good time bank with the on the side of No Taku Yankee on attack. They have 5 minutes and 15 seconds to get this next point. Ryan is pressured by the Pharah as well as dreaded DPS on the Echo, so he might consider getting off the Junkrat here.
The Junkrat does a lot of damage, but he can't really game that damage up hitting moving targets, especially in Echo. I don't even know how you're supposed to do that.
Yeah.
It's
Onto his soldier would be pretty good. Yeah.
Both teams just kind of waiting out the BAP wall.
Yeah. He
Don't
got
dare
out
peek.
that ball.
Adaptive circuits
Oh,
engaged.
Dreaded switching over to the Junkrat. Gonna try to build a Riptide here, I think. He's gonna get rocked for his efforts.
Looks like
With
both teams
Barrage.
might get
Creeping up pretty close. Kudo and Mel do have their ultimate here this fight. Transition comes up from first. Brian gets instantly deleted by a Barrage. Sigma comes out, hitting only the Pharah. Mel's Sigma comes out, but it will be interrupted. Brian does a Riptire. He will be able to pull that one out before he returns the point. Coming out of the left doors, it does get spotted by Mel, and Rikudo taking it out with a charge. I don't think I've ever seen that interaction in the kill feed before. And Big Brain Ethos struggling to find a answer to this point. They're going to lose point. 3 minutes and 51 seconds left on the time bank.
Yeah, that's basically what they started with. So I think one of the big issues with the Junkrat, he just can't deal with an Echo and a Pharah.
Switching
Um,
sides.
yeah, he can't aim up, and then they can freely shoot at him, so it becomes very hard for Brian
Initiating
to do much.
patch.
Chris
Okay.
does seem interested in the tire charge, as she puts it in chat.
Seen a lot of ballsy charges from Rakuto here today.
Yeah, it certainly makes things more interesting, and I'm all for making things more interesting, even if it's dumb. Yeah. It's always been my thought that, hey, if you do something stupid but you do it together, that's
Ready
smart,
for battle.
not stupid. So we need to see more of this. We definitely need to see more of this.
That dangerous reveal of your train of thought, Thomas. We're just gonna move on to the
Oh yeah, I won't be
move on
on
to the
team
offense team here.
next season,
Incoming in 30 seconds.
team captain next year, right here, K4.
Do not let this man near your battle plans, please.
Why do you think our team's doing so well?
Not seeing a
And
Bastion
Battle
coming out from the defense here yet, though.
No, Bastion would be very good, but I think it would have been better if
5, 4,
Big Brain Ethos ran a Bastion, because that would make it very difficult for Dread and McCree.
attackers incoming.
We do get to see a different composition coming out from them with a Doomfist Tracer and then the Grind Sigma.
Ooh, 5 people get anti. Well, everyone's getting tanked though. One fair rocket will take out Super and Brian.
Yeah, McCree's
Unanswered here. Pick up 5
Oh,
kills.
yeah. No, but that was all off the back of Blue Zinga there, being able to get that massive anti. I think Cerber would be a bit more benefited from switching over to Moira rather than the Baptiste, because he can fade and dodge the antis and not get caught out as easily as he was.
Something very interesting to know. Looks like they keep hitting massive anti. If they keep that up, this dive is not going to stand a chance. But dive is surrounded, and Zappa going to land on Frizz on the high ground. Open and exposed. No one to help the Zenyatta. They do lose Dano on the Tracer, but they may be able to find Luzinga here in the Ana. Dangerous though, all the way to half. Luzinga will fall. Now Dreaded on the Ash, transferring over to him from Echo. Sliceberg going to take up McCree. It's I think it's a 3-3 here on the point. Mel on the point. Dreaded's Bob will make it a point. Sound barrier doesn't actually hit. Oh, it does hit 3 people. I thought the shit
But
was
this is interesting. There are 3 of them on the point, but they all have low damage. Dreaded may be able to clean them up and stall long enough for his team to come back. Nope, he gets picked off there, and looks like that's the first point.
Now
we get to
try to heal him while he was flying over point.
Yeah, but now we get to see why Big Brain Ethos like this Winston Diva, because they Slice Bread and Zappa were very good at picking out the supports and Chris and Blue Zinga there.
Definitely not going to try to play the Zenyatta anymore. Chris is now on Brigitte. Going to prevent a lot of damage coming in from the dive teams here.
Yeah, but the defense do have both tank ults as well as a support ult and the Pharah Barrage, so Rebels on 7
That piece wall comes up from Surfer, will be picked up by Sig while Mortelli keeps him alive. Turns on the back line, going to get just relocated by Zappa. Grinding the point, punching in. Pretty scrappy team fight for defense here. 3 on the Pharah, getting dangerous almost 250. Kudo getting low as well. Zappa looks like he might find McCree. He won't find McCree actually. This barrage will stay up in the air. They will pick off Surberg. And this fight's looking to be on the side of the defense here. There's no touching ANGEY. Retakes his point.
Yeah, I think it all would have been different if they were able to pick off McCree there. Zappa is not giving up. He's going for that manga. Yeah, but I think with McCree's hide and seek there, he really saved that last point, because he still has his barrage, and he would have been able to use it there if he felt like they were getting too overwhelmed. But he was able to come back after picking up the Mega and get a pick off onto Sherberg, so the healing from the offense is gone, and then it was all downhill from there.
Finding Sirberg was so crucial to them winning that fight. Brian going in on the Doom. Not gonna find anybody. Punches Recruiter into a wall. But dreaded on Doom system. With the Echo, all Meteor Strike will come out. Looks like they're trying to land it on Sirberg. Sirberg just gets annihilated by the Meteor Strike. They're gonna take out 2 with his Echo ult. The fight unfortunately isn't going very well for Big Brainy Thoughts. It's another
Zapp's
reset.
looking like that now, and is dying. So, yeah, that is a very good hold on the side of the defense, once again. But the offense now is coming up on both their tank ults and both their support ults, so they'll have a chance this fight in order to overwhelm them, and their DPS might be coming up on their ult and Zap near the end of this fight if it goes long. So, however, the offense doesn't have any really big combos that usually help on these 2 CP maps, so it'll be difficult for them to be able to clean up the defense before they respawn.
Zap up. Well, trying to target Frizz here. Drop for QP does come out. Good bump to Slice right as well. Brian falls back on trying to fight 3 people at once. Freeze Farah ult isn't going to kill Sirberg. Immortality keeps him alive. He gets burnt on flying. Sliceberg falls right next to him. Dano and Zappa fall right as well. And another team fight on the side of Big Brain, or on the side of Notaku ANGEY. Recruiter does have Hog ult, and he just started playing Hog that last team fight, I think.
Oh yeah, they'll have both tank ults, and they'll have Echo ult as well. So they're doing a very good job at rotating these ultimates and able to hold on to this. They've only lost 1 tick in a few minutes. There's only a minute and a half left.
I want to see Brian get on this Echo and Sparrow. That's very vertically favored if he uses diag to his advantage. But still not a hit. Well, finally getting anti-NX inside of Reinhardt does well dreaded. 3 tanks inside of Echo does get taken out as well. Brian using Meteor Strike here. Looks like he's going to try landing on Blue Brian is going to be able to kill Frizz. His Slicer takes him free. By having long here, good hook from Recruito. Bumps and kills that, takes him out of the fight. And as soon as he falls, Sliceberg falls with him. Sirberg not too far behind. One more fight to the side of Big Brainy Thoughts. They're going to have Nano Boost. They're going to have probably Beat Drop and Shatter if this fight goes long. But they are running into a potential Trance, potential Ana ult, and potential and Bongo Drum inside of now. Recruito gonna kill Dano right as the fight begins. That's not looking good on the side of Big Brainy Thoughts.
What you need when there's Aura and an Echo.
UMP's the only one who's gonna make the point. Wow, what a nice response inside of Notaku ANGEY. They shut down that last team fight before it even began.
Oh yeah, they decided to go aggressive, and it worked for them. It certainly worked for them. Yeah, but it did look like this map was again very one-sided in favor of Notaku ANGEY.
It's been a very good barrage from free. They got a lot of people, and man, Big Brain Ethos need to find a way to deal with this Echo and this Farah. Pretty much tearing them apart single-handedly.
Yeah, I would suggest go goats. You know, on that Morgan Lucio, and then just roll over the tank line while the Farah and Echo are up in the sky, unable to do anything. I think that's you know, the classic just go goats is the way to go. But
If they had
yeah,
if they had an Echo of their own, they could go kind of goats and get a third tank or third healer if they wanted.
yes. No, but I definitely think if they went one good counter to this would be a throwing in the Ryan Zarya, Lucio Moya, Reaper, and then just another maybe Hanzo. He could put a little bit of pressure on Echo and Pharah as well as the tank line, and or Doomfist, and just roll through shields and then take out the two tanks that are the stability of Notakli ANGEY instead of having to not have enough, not have the hit scan prowess they need in order to deal with both Pharah and Echo. Last map we're coming up on is Nepal, and so these maps are slightly different. Each of them, I think, Sanctum, the big pit map, will be less favored for the Echo Pharah composition, whereas maps like Village will be a bit more favored because they're open.
Traveling to Nepal.
Yeah, Sanctum is a very, very strange map. High ceiling, but Echo and Pharah are going to get a limited
It's not
value
covered.
out of this point
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, so maybe just throw Brian on a Torb and put Dano back on that Ashe, and yeah, just sit on point and wait for the Echo Pharah to get poked.
Well, it's a very interesting point design. Almost all walkways are on the point face inward toward the center, which has a pit, mind you. So DPS like
we
Pharah
don't
and Echo can
have,
just shoot on the point for free, but people on point can shoot out for free, pretty much in every single direction.
unfortunately, we don't have ball this week, so we won't be able to see a bunch of plays with the pit. That'll be up to Cube and Pete on the Lucio. But yeah, it looks like Big Brainy Thoughts are coming out on a double shield with May. I find an interesting choice, as well as a soldier. And Notakli ANGEY going for a dive.
Round one.
Neither team made a basket before this game started. That's a bad omen to start off.
Oh yeah.
That is
Can't
the
have
most
group on
important
every
aspect.
team.
Brian May running into a dive. Vito making a vicious jump onto the back line. Pete and Dano are here. So he's got all the healing that he needs. Keeping Pete by his side. Now, looks like Angry is actually being slowed down here. Server picks up Luzinga. Point unlocked. Dreaded is the only one there. Cuban Pete's gonna get assaulted in a back alley by 4 people at once. He'll fall on the right side of point. But this point's definitely going to Big Brainy Thoughts.
Yeah, it was unfortunate when Big Brainy Thoughts were split. The Notakli ANGEY didn't have their cooldowns to commit a dive onto the supports there.
Both teams switching over to
Get stabilized.
May more.
Observe the barrier.
Mel getting re-mech. Zap coming out here with the Baptiste wall. Maywall will block it off. Both teams have the Bap wall. Zappa's Fire Strike is just going to take Dreaded immediately on the fight. Damon's visor through the wall does 2 times damage. That's getting headshots. That's pretty much like getting headshots with perfect aim as Soldier. That damage is almost unstoppable. Anti-Nade will hit 3 people on the side of Big Brainy Thoughts. And now the dive looks like it's getting slowed down.
Yeah, I think the dive really rotate around the left side of point. That's a big shot.
4 people. Vito getting it taken out of the fight. Free as well. Mel's going to be D-Mac. Dreaded will bring the defense back to the point, but not for very long. And man, Notakli ANGEY switching off the dive.
Yeah, that dive just got smothered in that choke, and they didn't split the entrances, so they weren't able to come in. He's going left side, just scouting a bit. Lucio battle.
We're seeing the Lucio battle, yes. Oh, Sigma picks up 3 people. Bring everybody down. He's gonna die first. The 1 on point. Backcapping here. Will he get a backcap? Mel's Diva Bomb will take someone out. And they will backcap this one right here. Big Brainy Thoughts just sneaks onto the point and takes it.
Yeah, they still were able to win the fight though, so that's pretty big. Dreaded is coming up on his pulse bomb for next fight, and Luzinga has a nano for the defense, but Cube and Pete might just they might just do a beat engage and run them over before they're able to do much.
Well, Brian staggered himself pretty long. just now getting back to his team. Down one on off angle. Trying to find some damage here. Zappa's Earthshatter does hit one person though. Not gonna get a bunch of value. Cuban Pete's beat drop does come out. Nano Boost comes up the side of Notaku Yankee. Rikudo gonna Earthshatter Dano. Gonna shut down that ult, but he'll lose his life for it. This fight's looking pretty much decided on the side of Big Brain Ethos. Chris is the only one on point here. How long will she fall though? Oop, not very long. Getting rocked out of the sky.
We call that unlucky. Yeah. That's what we call it in the business. But last fight here for Notaku Yankee. Let's see if they can pull it off.
Zappa going for a pretty ambitious charge onto Rikudo. Rikudo gonna answer with his own charge. Both Ryans falling to each other. Attack Visor comes off the side of Dano, gonna take out Kriz, gonna keep this point contested. No one's gonna be able to touch. Mel does make it, but not gonna be enough. And that's the first map going to Big Brain Ethos.
Yeah, that's on this Nepal map. They certainly look a bit different of a team than we've seen them in the last two. So I hope this keeps up because this was definitely closer than the last two maps we watched.
Definitely the open air point is going to be pretty hard for Big Brain Ethos, like we saw in the last two maps. Dreaded and McCree are back on their two stable heroes.
Yeah, that map was favored for them, so it'll be a bit harder here. The giant, what do you call this building? It's not a pagoda. The giant building.
Yeah, temple.
Temple, yeah, let's call it a temple. Yeah, the
shrine. Oh, it's a shrine. Yeah.
Yes. But Dreaded and McCree get to play on top of the shrine to avoid being hit from Dano and Brian on their characters. So, advantage for them.
Zappa rolling quickly. Anthony is gonna hit 3 people though. Zerbert will need to respond with Immortality Field, and now Brain Ethos got to point first, got to point confidently, but isn't gonna be able to hold that ground. Cuban Pete does take out the Pharaoh. Winning that Lucio Pharaoh 1v1, but they won't even contest point here. Rikudo gets pinned by Zappa, but Zappa will fall for it. Slice Bread finds 2. Not gonna stop a good charge here, but it will fall.
Didn't touch point, but they certainly won the fight. This next retake though, Bluesinga will have Nano Boost, so that's very good for Notaku Yankee.
Pretty good anti-nade here, hitting like 2 or 3 people every time I see one coming out.
Oh yeah, it certainly broke open this first fight when McCree was able to get that pick off on I think his server because of that.
Level coming out, Fire Strike going through it. Brian will fall. Interesting ult economy here on both sides. Both are pretty much coming up to ults. Dano's going to show us that by pop Attack Visor. He's going to run all the way around. Rikudo tries to Earthshatter him, I think. Zappa tries to respond to the Earthshatter of his own, but McCree's going to take out 2 before he gets taken out by Sliced Bread. Dreaded switching over to Reinhardt from the Echo. Will find stun. Dreaded does have Earthshatter almost again. And Big Brain Ethos looking pretty rough here on this point.
Yeah, but they are still able to get about 60% on the clock, so it's very big for them. They also have grabbed this fight, so, and they're coming up on nail, so they could just get a fight here with grab nail. Both teams are grabbed right now, so, but Cuban Pete's the only one with a defensive ult, so Big Brain Ethos should have the better of this engagement if they use their ult well.
Dreaded looking for the backline for Dano. Dano's all the way on the right flank without his team. Don't have a huge flank zone. Slice Bread doesn't grab. Now uses hers, or he's able to use his. Rikudo is going to sting Zappa. Brian's Blizzard comes out, freezing 2 people, 3 people on point, 4 people on point. Bap wall? Bap window from Cerbert comes out? Not sure how.
You know, it's unnecessary, but yeah, it's toxic. Like Mel was saying, it's toxic. And that's all good. We're in the Baddy League. We're supposed to be toxic. But yeah, in that fight, Dano was able to get a pick on Chris as well as prevent her from doing a lot of healing there. So I think that flank was well worth it on his part. Yeah, now we're looking for big shatters on both sides. This next fight.
Both Reinhardts will have shatter. They will come up from Brian, not gonna block anybody off, but we'll interrupt the point. Brian will get stunned. Zeppo will try to respond with his own Earth Shatter, not gonna find anything. Nano Boost comes in up onto Dreaded. Dreaded's gonna switch over to Zarya. Blazeberg will take out Chris. He's trying to get pulled out of his transformation, not gonna get any ults from that. But this fight's not looking too good for Big Brady Thoughts. They did get the point all the way to 99 though. They only need to win one more fight before they take this map.
Yeah, they're approaching both support ults as well, so this map looks like it could be theirs. But yeah, Dreaded DPS on that Zarya, 2 bubbles on Urkudo. Usually just wins against the 1 bubble on Zappa, so it's a pretty good switch.
Kind of going on a flank again. It's the same thing as the last team fight they won. Taking 2 angles. Not gonna be there to use the bat ball though. Zappa take a nap. They get woken up though. Just gonna pin the point. They will kill Rakuda though. Virgil comes out, Buddy Frizz. Trying to fight the tag visor. Kills the tag visor with it. He drops feet. Like Fred's gonna grab and he can catch 3 people in it. He's trying to turn this fight to his team. Mel does have grab, and both teams are at 99%. Whoever wins this fight wins this map. But the Zinga will fall, and the 3 will fall right after. Rakuda does find a shatter, and Mel does find a grab, but at what cost? Zappa taking Rakuda with him as he flies off the map. Dreaded on the Echo, switching over to the Zarya here. Might be able to get a grab here, but will be frozen by Brian, taken out of his ults. And
Victory.
Big Brain Ethos wins the Paul.
Yeah. Yeah, that was, I'd say pretty much on the back of Dano there, able to take so much attention as well as his flanks were just very, very powerful. And no one on the side of No Talk ANGEY was able to deal with it.
Personality duplication complete.
A lot of Echo and fair playtime on the side of No Talk ANGEY. They're just tearing apart Big Brain Ethos before they were able to take Nepal from him. But
yeah, we might have seen something different if they got to start in Village or Shrine instead of Sanctum, but it's the luck of the draw. No, but that last map was a lot closer than the first 2, so I was glad to see some life out of Big Brain Ethos.
if I'm not mistaken, that means Angry went 2-1 against Brain. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I don't have the spreadsheet up, but I will be taking a look after the start of the next match to see what that changes. As the first map, this has been K4.
And I am Eggman.
We'll be signing off.